everybody?
Is there a like a breach in the wall that's close to the archway?
No, there is not.
Okay, then I will
Front
follow.
facade is actually in pretty good shape.
Okay. Is there any open, let's say either murder holes, I guess, or windows above us as well?
What I'm seeing on my little map here is two large squarish structures, and a wall that runs between them, and then on either side of them all the way to the corners, which is a considerable distance, and that there is an archway between them, and then between either of them and the far corner, there's two archways. Okay, so there's plenty of places to go in, but the wall itself is really not that tall. It's only it's above the reach of a person, but no taller than that.
Strange question. Are there any birds nested anywhere, sitting around looking at us?
Quite an interesting question. It is. Well, I did say there was vegetation growing all over. At this particular point, yes, there are. So since it is the break of dawn, there's twittering of the birds. Cheep, cheep.
Okay. That's reassuring.
Well, so far.
Okay.
Eric,
what's your character's name again? Sorry, Eric's character.
Yeah, Tarhun.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm thinking about taking the the main entrance, the one between the two square buildings. Is it okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll take your. I'll cover your left-hand side.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm not going to draw my weapons so far, but I'm going to cover my right side with my shield and the left side with Eric, and then I will approach the door.
Yeah, I got my hand on my hilt just in case something weird happens.
Yeah,
it's
not looking aggressive, but kind of on the ready.
Okay, so when you proceed through, let's get on with this. As you proceed through, the interior is particularly ruined. The former buildings are only evident as outlines of broken bricks and stones. The pavement, because it was paved on the inside, and some of it was actually interior. So was old floor, but that was centuries ago. And now it is broken and battered. There are whole patches that are nothing but dirt and vegetation.
Somebody rebuilt outside, but not. Sorry if I interrupted you. Somebody rebuilt outside, but not inside the walls. Is that? I'm getting the correct
Somebody
vibe.
Did what? You mean attacked? Yes.
No. You mean rebuilt? Yeah, I mean people rebuilt over the ruins outside the walls, but here inside the walls, the ruins are older. I mean, or
oh no, they're just worse.
Okay.
Right, they're just worse. And anybody with a historical background would be thinking, well, it probably was really ripped up during the Mongol invasion anyway.
Yeah.
And so there are several buildings that are several structures that are still apparent. Some of those wretched situations where the frame of a window has survived the fall of the wall, so the beat up wall is still around the frame of the window, sticking up like some strange artifact, things like that. And one thing that you will notice, however, is that despite the plants and things that are in there, the birds are only on the wall. There are no birds on the inside. And that will strike you. I mean, just as you walk through and are thinking, oh, well, that's reassuring. The birds are still twittering. There can't be any, horrific dangers here. And then it's like, wait a minute, 10 steps inside into this area, they're not there.
Yeah, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah. And also, this is not, I don't want to say courtyard. That's a very European reference.
Right.
It's not a courtyard. This is actually an interior, more of an interior community or complex. Might be the
Right,
better
and I
way
guess
to-
that places that in a European building would be left, that they would be closed to, sorry, my English is not,
okay.
not working.
Closed to entry. Closed to
Yeah, no,
walking?
they would be closed off to keep the heat from going outside. In this climate, they would make them open so that the air could flow, right?
Right, that's true. Although Baghdad is, we tend to think of it as desert, but that's not really true, and it gets pretty cold in the winter, and it's coming, I mean, it's fall, I think, autumn at this point, so it's not baking hot. But you're right that there's a lot of openness here. I want to emphasize as well that it's fairly complicated. There's a lot of different, what you might think of as streets here, even though most of the buildings are destroyed and ruined and only there as, half or even just a quarter of a building, that you can still see the former layout. It used to be, this was a very, very organized structure at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you say streets, you mean maybe corridors,
Avenues,
or are we talking?
It's half and half.
Yeah,
I would say
it's.
Yeah.
I can imagine these like a little bit like the cloisters of a monastery. Like
a little bit, yeah.
If I'm
yeah,
yeah,
a little
if
bit. Yeah, I would actually. You know what? An academic campus would be a particularly good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, well, we call them cloisters as well in Italian universities.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well.
yeah.
Yes.
So
I guess that's the monastic influence, historical monastic influence. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at a few places that I would like to tell you about. But first, I would like you to roll for being surprised, and you are all being very careful. So I'm going to not treat you as I'm going to. It says if you are well set up for an ambush or something, and I'm going to give you some benefit here. This is going to be well hidden and prepared for surprise. Right. You are you will be surprised on a 1 or less rather than a 2 or less.
Okay.
of what roll?
Guess.
Okay.
D6.
D6.
Well,
Okay, but now I need to roll over.
In this case, yes. The phrasing, of course, is a little bit negative. Ordinarily, you will be surprised if you roll a 1 or a 2. Right. But in this case, everybody's showing their dice. Show off, quit. I know, poor Lorenzo. I mean, you're making fun of Lorenzo here. And so ordinarily, you will be surprised on a 1 or a 2. And if your opponents, the people who may surprise you, are in great shape for an ambush, then it's 1 through 4. And also, if you are being specially clever or careful, then it's just going to be a 1. So that's your situation.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that you are now naturally forming into a somewhat protective formation among the less military of the group. I'm just going to kind of assume that
Did they follow us inside the fortress, or you guys?
Everybody went in, as I recall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 3, so I should not be surprised.
Anyone else?
You need to roll for me again.
I'll roll for you.
Yeah.
So everybody has to
And
roll?
it's a 4 for Lorenzo, so he
Okay,
also
thank you.
shouldn't be surprised.
Okay,
We don't know. Maybe they're really well set up for an ambush.
that's true. At the moment, that's true. But at the moment,
We can't know.
right.
Eric, I saw you disappear for a second.
Yeah, something weird happened with the screen, but roll a 6.
So
Yeah,
far, you
I
guys
rolled
are
a
doing
3.
well. Greg?
Yep.
Ibar?
Just nice. I rolled a 6 too.
Well, all of you are going to impress the gods of fiction who are watching by nobody is shocked or surprised when individuals begin to appear from around structures or bushes or something that might have hidden them, and they are approaching. And at first, they don't look as though they are particularly threatening until you get another good look at them. They are people, and they are dressed in simple clothes, which in this culture is basically just kind of a robe-ish looking. It's divided between top and bottom, but the pants
Like a light cloth to reflect light and that it's not too heavy so that air passes through.
Well, partly that and the fact that it falls close to the ground. They don't have a distinctive set of tight pants. It's just, but it has layers, so it looks like clothes and not like a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, but so what I'm saying is that they're not dressed strangely, just very simply.
Okay.
What is strange about them is the lumpy, misshapen, and white swellings and distortions of their faces and their hands.
I shoot.
Like lumpy, like growths, or like they've been beaten up.
And also growths and kind of hanging. So sometimes it's hanging off and sometimes it's bulging.
Oh boy.
Oh, I heard you say that with shooting, but that means we will roll initiative. So give me just a moment for a little bit more of a colorful situation.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we will get there.
What if they're friendlies? I mean...
No. He already said he shoots, so we're going to shoot.
Yeah.
But we're going to do some rolling.
From my eyes, though.
Yeah.
Does it look like? Do these look like kind of hanging grotesque things you get from a natural plague, like the Black Plague with the buboes? Or does it look like no real disease I've ever seen before?
All of you are intimately and horrifyingly familiar with the Black Plague.
Yes.
But, but none of them have it.
Okay, doesn't look like it. Okay.
Right. Let me see. This is an observation thing. So I'm going to call it as a specialist thing, and also for our cleric because of their background. Make a roll for this with 1 to 2 for the specialist and just a 1 for Greg's character.
Okay.
5.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, so failures for both of you? Okay.
Yeah.
So so anyway, the last thing I want to say before the gun goes off is or Bo, you'll have to remind me.
It's a bow.
The last thing that happens is that they all begin singing. Or chanting in a tuneful way.
Do we get a reaction roll, or are they just mad?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
So doesn't Lamentations have like encounter reactions that?
Oh yes.
When you try talking to, but I guess it's too late since
in most
Sean
in most instances, NPCs' reactions will be obvious based on the circumstances of the encounter. If there is any doubt, consult the following chart. Let me inform you that I have no doubt.
Okay, great. Okay,
but I had known either, so